Motivation is external. Inspiration, which literally means in spirit, right? That thing within, that thing that you're connected to, in spirit. You can call it your inner guidance, you can call it your wisdom, you can call it your higher self, you can call it God, you can call it spirit, you can call it whatever you want. But inspiration comes from that thing deep within. And when you're connected with that, the motivation could change 15,000 times. But if you're not rooted here, this is gonna all be fleeting.
I mentioned about the inspiration, but it's gotta be accompanied with big dreams, I believe, okay? You only live once, might as well live it to the fullest and get the most out of it. Pretty hard to do that if you're not healthy spiritually, emotionally, and physically. My advice to you is to find something you can eliminate. What is something you're doing that's not so good or not a highest priority, and eliminate that and replace it with this. Make these the first priorities, and sometimes it blocks the others out, but just try to eliminate. It's not about just adding more and more on. It's about being more thoughtful, being smarter, being more mindful of the best thing and doing that.
And that capacity to sit with yourself, not be tricked, duped, and annoyed by your own mind, not falling into what's called the default pattern, where you worry, where all of your negative beliefs come up, is the most important part of training to be resilient. To be able to simply hold your center and to be comfortable, quiet, peaceful, and have equanimity, because you've learned that there's an incredible intelligence that you tap into best when you're quiet.
To live well, be well, we came up with 3 things: emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Establishes and maintains healthy habits and behaviors that support emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. Exhibits a mindset of grit and perseverance that allows for prioritization and intention about their core values and purpose. Embraces personal accountability, that change begins with them.
And so choices require you to make sure we're not listening to just information, but we're using it to be formed. So making sure that if we're gonna make a decision, you gotta know both sides of the story. And unfortunately, we so often don't take that time. We become truly imbalanced. And I guess the most beautiful vision of balance is walking on a tightrope. If you feel the tension from the left pulling you, don't overcompensate by moving too far to the right, because you'll fall. And the same way, if you fall to the left, it's because you're overcompensating that the right is pulling you. What real balance is holding the tension within. And this idea that the way that we're gonna live well and be well is to not be polarized and go from one to the other, but rather be rooted in reality, and we have to choose to live well, but we gotta be informed what that looks like.